The statement used to insert values, to input values into the columns of the table you just created is different from the statement you used, to create the table or to create a database. Right? Recall that when you want to create a database, we use the create statement to say create, then we'll have the database name, right? Create database, and we'll put in the database name and all of that. The same procedure for if you want to create a table. But then, having created the table, this time around we want to input values into the tables we have created. Recall that while creating the table, one of the things that you must ensure to do is to state after saying create table, just like you have on the screen, create table employee, which is the table name. We must go ahead to specify the names of the columns of the table, right? And not just that, after calling out, specifying the names of the column, we would also decide at that point the data type that the column should take, right? And in other instances, we'll go ahead to decide also the size of the data type. For example, in the case of this first name we have here, we have said that the data type should be a varchar, and the size of that of the data, that the size of the character it should take should not be more than 50, right? Now, when we now get to the point where we need to input in values into the table, there are some things that we must ensure, right? But then before we go straight into that, let's see what this table we have created. Let's see what it looks like. And what do? We'll write the statement to say select all, right? And call the table name select all employee, and we have select all from employee, and then we would have the semicolon to mark the end of the statement. You know how to execute is either you click on this thunder sign here, thunder symbol here, or on your keyboard press Ctrl Enter, and we can see the names of the columns that we have created in that table. This time around, let's go ahead to insert values into the table. How do we do that? The statement to use is the insert statement, and this is how it works. Follow me on the screen. Insert into, let's specify the table name, which is employee, right? And then it's not going to end there. We'll go ahead to call out all the columns that table has, right? And we'll do that in a bracket. Open the bracket and begin to call the columns in that table. Call them one after the other. We have the staff number. Ensure that it's spelled the same way you spelled it when creating the table. Staff number. We have the first name. We have the last name. One of the things that you will note here is that this time around, we are not specifying the data type and the size of the data type. We are just writing it the way it is, right? After last name, we have department spelled as DEPT, right? Make sure that you have spelled it the way it was spelled when creating the table. I have employment date. I have salary, and lastly I have gender. Also, this is not the end. We have just instructed the database to say that I want to insert values into these columns that I have listed. But then there is a way I love to do mine, so that we don't have the screen being populated with too much of words. I love to arrange them this way. So let's have them separated broken down into separate lines, just like I am doing them, just to have a neat work. Nothing more, right? Yeah, having done this, I'll go ahead to now specify the values that I want to the the exact words that I want to impute into the columns. I will say values. The right clause to use is called value. I'll open the bracket and I'll begin to put in the value. The value are inserted per row, right? So we're going to start for the first row. So it's going to have, it's going to follow the staff number, the value for staff number, followed by the value for the first name, followed by the value of the last name until you get to gender. And you'll be through with the first row before moving to the next row. So what do we do? Let's say the first value is for the staff number, and we have specified that the staff number would be an integer, so we cannot put in a text or a string. It has to be a number. So let's say the first staff number is 0001, right? When writing it, one of the things that you must note at this point is that that number must be enclosed in an apostrophe. It's either you use a single apostrophe or you use a double apostrophe. You can decide to choose to use what your choice is. But note that if you have chosen a single apostrophe, you must maintain a single apostrophe all through the statement, right? And if you have chosen a double apostrophe, you should maintain a double apostrophe all through the statement. So I'm going to use a single apostrophe here and say the value is 0001. I'm going to close it the same way, comma. What is my first name? I'm going to say the first name is John. And what is the last name? I'm going to say the last name is Doe, right? I'm going to close that. And next I have department. Let's say John Doe is in the IT department, and I'm going to write it as IT. Employment date, right? Employment date in SQL is written as year, month, day. So let's say the guy was employed in 1999, right? So 1999, right? I'm going to put in I'm going to have the month. Let's say it's January, which will be 01, and let's say the date is maybe 24, right? I'm going to close that again. That's the employment date. Next is to have the salary. He gets $100,000, right? And then I'm going to close that. And next is the gender. Recall that I have specified the gender to be a car data type, and the size is just 1. This is because I want to use acronyms, to represent the gender. M for male and F for female. So John Doe is a male, so I'm just going to say M, right? And I close it, and that marks the end of it, right? This is for the first row. So I'm going to go to, after closing the bracket, I'll go ahead to write for the next row. So let's say the second row is going to carry it this way. Employment staff number should be 0002, right? Comma. Let's call the name Max. Easy. Just follow me as we write. That is the last name, and the department would be, let's say, is in the project department, comma. Employment date, let's make his employment date be 2001, month April, and then day, let's say 10, right? And then salary, let's make it 120,000 US dollars. 120,000. And then I'm going to close the apostrophe first, and the gender would be is also a guy, male. And I'm done with that. I'm going to close the brackets and go straight to the third row. I want to make this one different. Let's make it a female. So let's say the staff number should be, I'm going to open the bracket, of course. Staff number will be 0003, right? First name, let's call Linda. Put it and go to the surname, the last name. Let's say Brian, or let's say Brain. Yeah, recall, I'm going to keep it in the apostrophe, right? The department, let's say admin, right? Still same way. I have comma. Employment date. She was employed in the year 2029, right? In February, and then on the 25th day, I'm going to close that. Salary, she earned 90,000. I'm going to close that. And the gender, somewhere around a female. Yeah, let's end here. Let's stop it there. So I'm going to close the bracket and then add my apostrophe to mark the end of that query. So of course there seems to be few issue with this query I've written. That's why we have this cross sign here. So we're going to look at it again before we execute. Oh yes, I find it. We should have a comma here to separate each rows. Right, now we are good to go. Right, so having checked all through, I'm going to execute this, and of course we know how to execute, right? It's either you use this thunder sign here, or my keyboard, I press Ctrl Enter, and this is executed, right? So after executing, of course, we found it a small error asking us error code unknown column employment date. So we need to look at the spelling of our employment date. Look at how we have spelled it here. Let's quickly go to when created the table. How was it spelled? Oh, E. All right, so I'm just gonna come here to correct that. Yes, then I can go ahead, right, to execute once again. Right, now it's marked, so our query has been approved, right? So we have just created a table. You know what to do next? To see the table we have created, we'll use the select statement to select all from, what's our table name? Employee, and followed by the semicolon, and then go ahead to execute, right? Wow, so we've seen our table. We have just imputed values into our table the same way we have made it to be, right? And you can understand why the staff number is reduced, because we said that it's an integer, right? And they have to pick it that way, right? So this is how to impute values into a table you have created. Next, we'll find time to look at what if there are errors with this table, and we need to remove the errors. Remove the particular value and replace with another thing. What do we do? But then this is how we impute values into a table that we newly created. If this is very helpful to you, please, I need you to look at the subscribe button and click it, so that you can get updated with other classes as we release them in here. And until then, let us call it a day.